So how's it going, motherfuckers? So, been following the story of Battlefront 2. The new Battlefront 2, not the old school Battlefront 2 that a lot of people know and love. But Battlefront 2 is a new series. So, this is going to maybe branch off a little bit. I won't try to get too off topic. But Battlefront 2 is a sequel to a game that scammed a lot of people in the first place. EA took over Star Wars, bought it out, and they created Battlefront. They relaunched the Battlefront series. Not sure if it was so much a reboot or just taking the same exact name of the previous game series. So, Battlefront 3 is like a legend in the gaming community. It's one of the many Star Wars games, along with the Boba Fett Bounty Hunter game that was canceled, and the Darth Maul game, and Knights of the Old Republic 3, all these great games that have never seen the light of day. Um, Battlefront 3 was supposed to be one of the most impressive games of all time. It's just they couldn't get the game to run efficiently with so much content in it, and it was unfortunately canceled. It just fizzled out. But it was supposed to be, from what I've heard, one of the most impressive video games we would have ever seen. One of the most impressive online games you'd ever see. So I'm not so much an online gamer. I am a single player guy. I will pretty much say that. The last time I really ventured in to a game for the multiplayer was Gears of War 3. I mean, I've played Gears of War 4 and I haven't touched the multiplayer. I'm just not into that whole thing. I've got people, I've got my coworkers always saying, "Oh, go gold already on your Xbox so we can play online." I'm just not interested in it. I like the experience of just sitting there and playing a game. I love to just play through a single player experience in a campaign. That is what I'm into. Not that I hate multiplayer or I'll never play it again. It's not something I'm feeling at this point in my life that I want to do as far as gaming goes. When I get done with work, I kind of like to just come home and relax and not worry about having to yammer into a headpiece and stuff. And I don't even have that mic, for my Xbox One. I have it for the 360. But Battlefront 2 was released, and the first game was a major scam. There was a total lack of content. There were no space battles at all. It was a pretty lame experience. I played it at a friend's house, was getting sick of it literally after like 10 minutes. And that was after playing with one of the heroes or villains, Darth Vader. And, after hacking like the 20th guy with my lightsaber, I kind of grew bored with it. There didn't seem a lot to it. I don't know, it felt like a very empty game. Visually, it was very impressive, but there was something about it that just felt barren. It felt like it was missing something. There was a limited number of maps. There wasn't a whole lot to it. It was a lot of glitz and glam, and pretty much it was, it really was Battlefield with a Star Wars skin. So EA got the hint, and they decided, let's try harder with Battlefront 2. But somewhere along the line, they kind of said, you know what? We should really take advantage of, the player again. Load the game up, put most of the maps on DLC, and let's also do this microtransaction. See, this is the one thing that really pisses me off about video games, and why I never, as much as I love like the Arkham games, I never purchased the DLC. The last time I purchased DLC for a video game was actually for well, I did a little bit in WWE 2K13. I mean WWE 13. It wasn't 2K yet. I bought the extra level in Resident Evil 5, and after that shit ended in like 15 minutes, I never went back to DLC again. Just to prolong a game for another 15 minutes is just not worth it to me, guys. It isn't. It's not really worth the money to spend an extra $10. You could just get another game for $10. Really, I could go on Amazon and order a game for $10. A lot of different games, and that I've never played before. and experience a new game, a totally different game. Or I have to resort back to the same game just to prolong it again. And so, I'm not buying any map packs. I'm not buying any extra levels. I'm not buying any extra characters anymore. If that shit's not in the game to begin with, I'm not going to be experiencing it. Because I think that DLC and the whole online gaming thing, I've talked about this in the past, has ruined gaming. Gaming has always been a business. I mean, it is capitalism at its finest. You see a game on the shelf that you like, you see a game online that you like, and you order it, you buy it. A company has put that game out for you to enjoy, and you're buying that game so you can enjoy it. So the company makes money, you get entertainment out of that exchange, and the world moves on, and the company profits, and you profit from an entertainment standpoint. So with that in mind, the gaming world decided, if we're going to go online, let's take advantage. Let's cut the game up. Let's leave out content. And, there's no problem with that. I saw no problem with Resident Evil 5. Yes, it was a bit scammy that, the extra campaign portion was so short. And I actually did do that extra level with a friend. So that was one time that I went online, because I did like Resident Evil 5's Mercenaries mode. So I did play that quite a bit with a particular friend. And, I got enjoyment out of it. So the only thing that, and I think you actually had it to purchase Mercenaries mode. Maybe I did buy that as well. I don't really remember anymore, but because that was years ago. But the thing is, if you want to do an extra level or something like that, that's all fine and dandy. Go ahead, put that in your game. But when you start taking whole things out of games, like crucial things, like most of the characters, and start putting it up online as like ransom, you are putting out a game, and you are pretty much holding half of the game ransom, like Battlefield 2. You're just scum. I'm sorry, but EA, you're just scum. You made a game. You made it incomplete on purpose. You completed the game. You did. So I shouldn't really say that. What you did is you kind of hacked the game right in half. And you have not just made, really, it's DLC, but they've done it in a very strange way where it's not your typical DLC. They're actually now asking for straight up cash so you could purchase crystals. And they're asking for straight up cash so you could purchase characters. And if you don't purchase them, they're making you play their game for hours on end. They were actually going to ask players to play for something like 500 hours to unlock a single character. For the heroes, to unlock Luke Skywalker, to unlock Rey, you're going to have to play that long. And let's be honest, this was something that was is a staple of cell phone games, of games for your phone or for your tablet. You purchase games on the App Store from Google Play or from the Apple Store, and these games will do microtransactions. We saw that with Sonic Dash. We've seen this with numerous other games, and I used to see it all the time. A game that I used to actually play a little bit on my way to work was Heyday on the phone. So I bought it from the Google Play Store. I mean, it's a free download. It was a pretty enjoyable game. I've never really been into these types of games, but it was kind of like Farmville, but it had a bit more personality, and I was enjoying it. And my ex-girlfriend got me into it, but she would actually buy the in-game money to do shit, the diamonds. And that's kind of what the crystals remind me of in Battlefront 2. Actually buying it, I was saying, you actually spend money on this game? I'd rather grind in the game and wait longer. See, the game capitalizes on your impatience. And this is how the game makes money. They have sponsors and stuff, but this is how they make money. They're going to try to put these microtransactions in the game. And the fact that they're actually doing this on a home console game. See, the difference is, okay, I get it with cell phone games so they can make more money, because they probably don't make a truckload of money with the sponsors alone, because there's not that many ads on the game to begin with. So, it's just a cell phone game. You didn't pay anything for it, so you really can't complain all that much. It might be a dirty practice to ask somebody to buy in-game money with real money, and something like this would have been unheard of back in the day. And it's still kind of, to me, is still unheard of even in 2017. Even when I first really started to explore it back in 2013, when I really got my first taste of it with Heyday, when I really started to experiment with some of these games for Android and Apple. So, you're paying for a game. You're paying $60 for a game on the norm if you buy it new. So you're going to buy that game, and then you're going, and you're giving the company all that money, and you think of all the millions of sales that they're going to make worldwide off this game. The U.S. alone. You include Europe and wherever else. And, it's a Star Wars game. There's a movie right around the corner. And you're telling me that you're going to actually have the nerve with all the sales you're going to make to charge people even more money for your game just so you can get, more enjoyment out of it. And you're not going to enjoy it because it's a pretty incomplete game. The game that you're going to actually download onto your PS4 or Xbox One when you first insert that disc or download it off the online store for the respective game console that you have, you're going to be pretty freaking pissed because you're going to see that there's a lot of shit missing from that game. So, the only other way of really furthering your enjoyment is buying all the additional stuff, but you just spent $60 on that game, and you're being asked to buy more, basically buy another game. With the season pass, it's another scam. Oh, so you don't want to spend all that money? We'll just create a season pass, and you could spend a little bit less money so you could get the rest of the game. I think that is so ridiculous. I think that this is one of the greatest crimes ever committed in gaming. I mean, to put these microtransactions in there, and it's not even a cell phone game, to actually try that. And you know who else has tried doing that? WWE 2K18. And I think that is just the most horrendous thing possible. You are actually now letting people buy their way through a game. And I could also criticize the gaming company and the game developer and the publisher actually willing to put this out. But I also have to criticize the person, too. How the hell are you going to actually spend money on a game like this just to further your progress through the game? I see for the extra characters, but to actually, get more crystals in Star Wars Battlefront 2, you're actually going to do that? There's people who are going to do that because that's why they're putting it in the game. And you notice they've kind of stepped back a little bit, Battlefront 2, because they started getting a lot of fire because they were doing it so much in this game. Like I said, they're holding the whole game hostage pretty much. They're holding it hostage. They're telling you, okay, so if you want these characters, we're going to make it very, very tedious, and you're going to have to grind a lot if you want to really get anything out of this game. So they kind of took a step back. You don't have to play as many hours to unlock some of these characters. And I thought that was pretty funny that they tried to patch that out of the game at the last minute. I mean, they did it like the day of launch or the day before the launch of the game. Pretty sad, I have to say, that gaming has gotten to this level where it's really become a bit too much of a business. I remember when game developers were just happy to, make money doing what they love and putting out a game. And I know it's not just the developers themselves. They're being forced to do this, either by their publishers or by their higher-ups of the development team, saying, let's make some extra cash. Let's put this unwanted shit in the game, and we'll make it so, because the thing is, they're going to make it so tedious. It's like, why would you even buy the game then? If it's that tedious to begin with, if it's that unpleasant to play your game without having to spend extra money, see, the thing is, this is why it keeps happening. Because you people keep spending your money. You people keep on telling these gaming companies that this is okay, that this is something you like. You might not like it, but you're spending money anyway. So the only way that the company is going to get a message through is when they start losing money. that's the way how they know an idea is not working. That's how they know when an idea has flopped, when they're not benefiting from it, when they're not profiting from it. Because you see, is when they see a reduction in dollars, that's when they'll stop these unfair, quite retarded practices. So there you go, guys. There's my opinion on Battlefront 2. I'm not going to buy this game. This is why I stay away from a lot of games. This is why I purchased games like Sonic Forces. It's just a simple game. The whole game is here. There's one download. It's the Shadow Story. And it's free. It's free. They're not making me buy anything to progress through the game. They're not holding that portion of the story hostage. They're just put out a game. And this game is getting very mixed reviews and everything, and I'm going to do a review of it shortly. I am finding a way so I can do a more exciting video for you people on here. I am going to try to capture footage for this game. And I'm going to do it through the Xbox DVR. I'm going to try to edit it on my computer and try to get that video up as soon as possible. So that will probably be my next gaming related video. But I just decided to do this video here on Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I mean this is out of control. They need to stop these unfair practices. It's good business for them, but bad business for the gamers. Until next time.